Hey guys, so today we are going to be doing a wear test of the new SISLEY Phyto-Hydra Teint. It is their beautifying tinted moisturizer, and I have it in the shade One Light, and I have to thank Beautylish for sending this over to me. Thank you so much. I cannot wait to get this onto my face. You guys know how much I love SISLEY based products. I have their tinted sunscreen, I have their cushion foundation, I have their anti-aging foundation, I have their ultra eclat foundation, which I also love. So the only base of SISLEY's that I wanted to try that I haven't tried is their tinted moisturizer, which I think this is replacing that one. And the amazing sales associates over at the SISLEY counter at the Saks here, every time I was like kind of hemming and hawing about the tinted moisturizer, they were like, don't get it, don't get it. I think they knew that something was coming to replace it. They always kind of talked me out of it, so I'm very thankful that they did because I'm really excited to see what SISLEY has done with this one. So I'm seeing this start to pop up on a bunch of retailers. It is definitely available at Beautylish. At Nordstrom, I actually wanted to order it, but it looked like shades 1 and 2, there's only 3 shades unfortunately, but shades 1 and 2 kept selling out and only 3 was available, which I knew was going to be too deep for me. So I think this product is still kind of trickling into retailers, and you'll probably see it pop up on retailers more and more as the weeks go by. I will definitely link to it down below in my description box if you're interested in it. So this product does not look to have any SPF. It is 1.3 fluid ounces, it's 40 mils, and it is a SISLEY product, so it is made in France. So the first 4 ingredients in here: water, dimethicone, glycerin, and titanium dioxide. So I'm on the SISLEY site currently. I just wanted to see if they had any usage tips or application tips or anything like that. It is $120. And let's see, it's a daily skincare performance with its Beauty Booster Complex. Hydration with white lily extract, perfection with a fruity cocktail of plant-based extracts, and it also provides protection with buckwheat seed extract. Apply with fingertips or the fluid foundation brush using light strokes all over the face. The fluid foundation brush is like a flat paddle brush. Their foundation brush is like an angled kabuki. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and use my fingertips, and here is what the squeezy tube looks like. Let's see what's at the top here. Yeah, it is an actual squeezy tube. I didn't know if it was one of those that had like a pump at the top. And for what I could tell so far, it looks like 1 is going to be the correct shade for me. Let me see if I need to shake this up. The box says an ultra fresh texture with a light coverage for a natural finish. When it comes to foundation, nothing sounds better than that for me. I'm gonna go ahead and squeeze some onto the tips of my fingers here. Here is the texture. So it's like, it's lotiony. It's not terribly runny. And I'm just gonna work this in. Very smooth. And even though dimethicone is the second ingredient here, it doesn't feel like overly plasticky. There's some bases that I know are like silicone based. They just feel really like slick. This doesn't have that feeling. It has it a little bit, but it's not overly. There is definitely a scent. It's like a SISLEY kind of like fresh scent. It is incredibly light, as you guys can tell. I'm just gonna add some to my forehead here. All right, so here is a nice, very light, very thin layer of this tinted moisturizer. I think it's really nice. This is a great, like no makeup kind of day coverage for me. I can still see, you know, my freckles, my spots and things, but there's been a little evening. I'm definitely going to apply some more to see how buildable this is, but I definitely feel a little bit more polished and a little bit more evened out, which is great. So I did not use any primer today. I just put moisturizer on because I knew I was going to be testing out this foundation and I didn't want any additional sheen or illumination or anything like that, or anything to kind of help the longevity of this foundation or, you know, interfere with the coverage, etc., etc. So this is just applied over my moisturizer, which I actually applied much earlier today. So I definitely see a little bit of radiance, but it's not too much. It's not overly. This is definitely great for dry skin. I have very dry skin. I have very dry, mature skin. How old am I? I am 46 years old, so I have mature skin concerns. So far, I am definitely agreeing with all of their claims. Let's go ahead and add a little bit more on. I want to see if this coverage is buildable. So I just squeezed out that much more. I'm hoping that'll just cover my entire face here. So I noticed this with the first layer, but I don't know, it didn't really resonate. Now it resonated putting on this second layer foundation, but I feel like, and probably because, what was it? Titanium dioxide was the fourth ingredient in here. I almost feel like I see a little bit of a white cast, but then it disappears. I feel like it kind of melds into the skin. I guess we'll just have to wait and see what happens with this second layer. But I saw it a little bit with the first layer. I thought, oh, it looked a little bit like there was a little bit of a white cast. But then I think it just disappeared so quickly that, I don't know, I didn't really process it. And now I feel like I saw it again with the second layer. So I just wanted to mention that. You guys probably noticed it. And I think with that second light layer, I like this coverage. I feel like if I wanted to do just a little bit more like spot concealing, I can do that. Like maybe the darkness underneath my eyes, even out my eyelids a little bit, maybe cover some of these spots, and that's it. But I like what it's done with like the entirety of my face. You know, it's just really kind of smoothed everything out. It's evened everything out. I really love this level of coverage. I really like this finish. It is very, very beautiful. It is very, very skin-like. It is very, very natural. There's just a little, like the littlest hint of radiance. I don't feel shiny or oily, or like at the moment, I don't feel worried like, oh God, what is this gonna look like in 5 hours when my natural oils kind of start to peek through. It's just really subtle. And for shade reference, if you guys have a similar kind of coloring to mine, or you know, you've purchased foundations of a similar shade to me in the past, I do think one works very, very well. In fact, I think it could be like a half a shade darker than my neck. So I do think it works for my face, but I'd probably want to like bring it down in the future. I'm not going to bother now. I don't think it's like that noticeable. Okay, I've been sitting here for like a couple of minutes. I'm really just like wondering if you guys see like the white cast has kind of disappeared. I feel like it's kind of disappeared again. I saw it when I first applied it, and now I feel like my complexion is kind of back to normal. Like I see like the redness in my cheeks. Yeah, that's so interesting. I wonder what that is. I wonder what that's about, but I'm really glad that it kind of like it dissipates. All right, let's just do some close-ups here. I'm just gonna scan down from my forehead down to my chin. And again, if you are new to my channel, I have very dry skin. I suffer from eczema, and so I have some leftover eczema at the top of my forehead here. I don't see this particular foundation kind of clinging to any of the weird skin that I have up there, so that's a great thing, a great thing. I also have extremely deep forehead lines, and I don't see the foundation emphasizing that. I don't have necessarily very large pores next to my nose, like on the tops of my cheeks here. So I don't know that I'm a good candidate to talk about like pore minimizing, but it's definitely not emphasizing them. I've definitely used foundations in the past where it's made my pores look larger than I think they are. Looks good under my eyes. And then my other problem area would be around my mouth, where I tend to see caking up a foundation no matter what the coverage is or texture or formula. Sometimes it'll just start to look really thick around my mouth, even before I've eaten anything or done anything. And I'm not seeing that with this foundation, which is great. All right, I am so excited to try this out for the rest of the day. I am getting a little bit of a late start today because I was waiting for this to arrive. So it's about 12:30 right now. I'm really gonna try and do like an 8-hour wear test, which will bring us to about 8:30 tonight, which if you guys know me, that's like my bedtime. So I'm going to try my hardest to make it to 8:30, but I'm going to go ahead and, you know, put on the rest of my face, get on with my day, and I will be doing a check-in before my final check-in at the 8-hour mark. So let's go ahead and take a look at my first check-in. All right, so I've had this foundation on for 4 hours, so I thought I would do a check-in in front of my window. So we are looking at my face with natural lighting, which is a lot harsher and a lot less forgiving than studio lighting, but I wanted to give you guys like a real look at this foundation. So I do want to mention, I don't have any concealer on, I don't have any powder on. I really wanted to see how this was going to wear all by itself. I do have a little bit of powder blush on. I swept that powder blush over my eyes, and I have some lip gloss and some brow gel in. That's it. So I don't have any more kind of like complexion products on. And like I mentioned when I first put this on, I could probably stand to use a little concealer, but whatever. We're just here talking about the foundation. I think it looks really good considering I have been kind of running around today, like in and out of my car, running a bunch of errands, and for something that's so light, I feel like its light coverage has been very consistent. I feel like a lot of light coverage foundations, they tend to fade more quickly, but this foundation, like all the Sisley foundations I have experienced, the coverage kind of remains the same and the finish remains the same. So even though I have it powdered and it does have like a slight bit of like radiance to it, you can see it right here, it hasn't gotten worse. And I do have dry skin, but sometimes, you know, when there's a little bit of radiance in the foundation, I feel like my natural oils do start to peek through. Now it's only been 4 hours, so we will definitely take a look at the end of the day at like the 8-hour mark. But right now, I'm just really, really happy with it. I just think it's such a nice, natural look. Well, hello. It is 8:30 in the evening, so we are doing an 8-hour final check-in because I'm going to bed right after this. So here is a look at the makeup, and I think it looks really great. I love the like little radiance that I'm starting to see now. I want to say probably like not too long ago, maybe like the 7-hour mark, I started to see a little bit more radiance. I think you guys can probably see it right here on my forehead, little shinier right here, but I just really like that. I have dry skin, so I'm like, yes, let it glow. And I think it looks great. And just a reminder, I have like no concealer, no powder on, nothing. And this is what the foundation looks like with absolutely no help. This is like really the perfect kind of like no makeup kind of look. It is right up my alley. It is totally in my wheelhouse. I absolutely love it. To compare it to some other foundations that I have been using and loving, I want to say this one is probably the closest to the Surratt, but the glow from this one is a little bit more like natural, and the glow from the Surratt, I feel like even though I can't really see it in the foundation, I feel like there's like actually like a little bit of radiance in that foundation, where I don't think there's actually like any kind of like bits in this foundation. I feel like there is like something in the Surratt foundation that kind of gives you more of a filter look. Like this is just like a tick more natural than the Surratt, but very similar coverage, very, very light coverage. And then to compare it to this Sisley foundation, similar coverage, very, very light, but this has a more matte finish. And while I didn't test this for long wear, this one is sort of marketed as long wear, and this had, for me, excellent wear. I think I've worn it for 12 hours straight without not even like a crack in the facade. Like it just looked exactly the way it looked when I put it on. So this one is definitely more matte than this one. And then compared to any of the other foundations I've been playing with, like the Tom Ford one, that one just has much more coverage than this one. The Tom Ford has like a solid, I feel like solid like medium coverage. So this one is much lighter than that. So let's just do a close up here because I want you guys to see how even like the application of this foundation still looks, even though it's light. So I'm just gonna go from my forehead down to my chin, and it just looks really nice. Again, I could probably personally use a little bit of concealer underneath my eyes just to like brighten a little bit, but look at how it looks underneath my eyes. It's not emphasizing lines. It hasn't like creased or done anything strange. Again, I didn't put any powder down. And then right around the tip of my nose, I generally have fading there. I think that's very, very normal. And you can even see that's a little bit shinier than this morning, but the very light coverage it provides is still there. Like there is still foundation on the tip of my nose. It hasn't like broken up or anything. The coverage just looks the same as it did when I first applied it. In my book, this is another big winner from Sisley in terms of their base products. I think the foundations that Sisley comes out with are the absolute best. I have not had an issue with any of them. So I'm gonna keep wearing this one, and in like a couple weeks, I wanna do like kind of like a roundup of my favorite foundations and talk about them, because I did a top 5 foundations like it feels like years ago at this point, and it's totally changed totally, totally changed. All the foundations that have come out that I've tried over the past year or so have been so amazing. So anyway, definitely keep an eye out for that video. Definitely subscribe if you are interested in a video like that, and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section, and I'll see you in my next video.